thinking.
Let's decide. Hello.
Hi. I just
Hello,
realized
friends.
it played the wrong intro because
Honestly,
I
I
didn't
kind
check.
of dug it. That was some cool music, actually.
This is actually not me. It's us. It's somewhat useful.
I know if you don't have the right music, I don't think people really know. I feel like
I
people know
know.
us by the music. I feel like our intro is just like a total mess right now.
Well, we're trying something new,
we're
and then I
trying some
forgot
new
to check
things.
that it was,
We're trying some new things. We're trying an Instagram Live as well
Yes.
as a YouTube Live. And if the Instagram Live craps out, then just jump over to YouTube. I don't know.
Join us on YouTube.
This is just an experiment. And I hope anyone that's watching can just sort of enjoy the experiment and see if this works. If you don't like it, tell us. If you do like it, tell us. We're just trying to figure all this out. Somewhat useful.
Here in the 12th week of January.
Here in the 12th week of January, and our what is this? Our 6th season? Yeah, we're still just like working out the kinks here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll jump into our intro right now.
Sounds
Hello,
good.
friends, and welcome to Somewhat Useful. I'm Will Myers.
And I'm Christy Price.
And on this show, we'll be discussing the topics shaping the world of digital entrepreneurship and tackling questions about Squarespace and web design. We're figuring this world out one website at a time and hope you find this somewhat useful.
Somewhat useful. Our live podcasts or episodes are continuing on YouTube every other Tuesday. So if you're listening on the podcast, come join us live sometime. And if you're here live today, thanks so much for joining us.
And it's 2026 now. Okay, we're like deep into the year. And today we're going to be talking about what does 2026 look like for web designers and developers. We're going to share what we've been learning, what we've been leaning into. We're going to share what we've been leaning into this year and what we're leaning out of, and then share some of our predictions as the year goes on. Like what is the world going to look like at the end of
Get out my crystal ball.
For web designers, I know.
But before we do that, I wanted to send out a huge thank you to everyone who joined us live or listened to an episode last year, because according to Spotify Wrapped, our listening time was up 90% and followers were up by 48%. So thank you so much. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
We're moving on up.
Oh, we're
I
like
didn't even know that.
Rocketing into the stratosphere, Will. We
Just
now have
incredible.
like my mom, my daughter,
Yeah.
my husband, your wife.
It's expanding. It's like now our cousins are listening to it as well. It's like our audience is really growing. Yeah. 5 to 10. Christy, what have you been working on this year? Let's jump into things that we've been putting together. What have you been working on this year?
So far here in the 12th week of January, I've been working on a custom build, a template build out. Still doing my weekly YouTube videos, and I'm just kind of chugging along with normal web design and content creation. And
has your business shifted much since like the end of last year? So, I mean, for me, I feel like the AI stuff has thrown a lot on its head, and I'm trying a bunch of different things. But do you feel like yours is kind of the same?
I did make some changes this year. So at the end of last year, I did my last designer for a day, which was kind of bittersweet. I really loved that service, but honestly, with all the changes Squarespace has just been rolling out, plus there was an error with one of the migrations I was doing, I just can't do it and be efficient. So that one turned into 3 days and I was getting paid for 1. My day was not 3. So I've taken that offering off for this year. And I've also had to scale back my hourly services for that same reason, because I feel like every time I jump into Squarespace, something is new. And some of the time, as a circle member, we get a heads up, like we know what to expect. And then
Mhm.
sometimes I get in there and like when this new section designs rolled out, I was not
Yeah.
expecting those. And it was on an
All
hourly
the new
call, and I was
things.
trying to find sections that I pull those templates from,
Yeah.
and they weren't there anymore. So I feel like I just can't do those services justice right now. Maybe they'll come back.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah,
But you need
for
it
now.
you need a little more structure for those for you to
Yeah.
offer the designer for a day stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved those. They were really quick wins. To be able to see a website look totally different at the end of a day was a huge win for the client. I loved being part of that transformation. It made me feel like, I don't know, one of those home design shows where you're like, look what we did today to your kitchen.
And now, haha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were
So
always really fun.
So I do kind of miss that, but yeah, the normal stuff like custom builds, template build outs, still going strong. Lots
Mhm.
more inquiries so far this year.
Really? For
Yes, so
for anything in particular?
just everything. Last year felt relatively slow in terms of
Uh-huh.
the number of inquiries I was getting. This year, it's really picked up already, and we always see kind
Huh.
of that in the very beginning of the year. So I'm curious to see if it
Mhm.
holds this year.
Sure. Sure.
Mhm.
Inquiries for, like, anything in particular? I'm just curious to know.
Everything from I
Everything?
need a website to I'm curious about your template build out to can you help me with this very niche problem? So yeah, just
Love it.
a lot of people are engaging right now, which is really nice.
Do you know where they're finding and I'm just, like, really diving deep here
Mhm,
into
mhm.
you, but, like, do you know where they're finding you? Is it through SEO? Is it through AIO? Is it
Yeah.
through, like, word of mouth? Where's that
Yeah,
coming
so I track this, Will. So
from?
it's a
Aha,
really
good.
nice split right now from they found me on Google, they found me through an AI tool, or they found me on YouTube. So those are the 3 biggest categories right
Really?
now. Mhm.
An AI tool, how much is the AI tool coming from?
A lot. So
Sweet.
it's I'm seeing a lot more already this year. So I'm curious. I don't know what they're searching for, and I need to dive
Mhm.
into that more. But yeah, it's pretty cool that they're finding me through. I'm thinking most of it's Chat GPT when I ask. That's kind of the answer I get.
Sure.
But
I feel like that's the main
yeah,
one too.
yeah.
That's
But
great.
yeah. So what have you been working on this year so far, Will?
Um, I've been moving more into some custom projects and stuff. There's a couple
Hmm.
custom, like, big builds I've been doing.
Hmm.
AI has opened up a lot in the, software development world. So I'm getting into full app builds, like designing an entire back end, front end, all this
Amazing.
stuff, database. So building a bunch of stuff like that. And then really diving in more to my RoboWill and toolkit and everything. That's just been really fun to build out is the
Hmm.
AI tool because I feel RoboWill is like my AI design code assistant
Hmm.
for Squarespace websites. And I've just really enjoyed building that out because it's one of these things that you build. You always have these ideas. It's like, oh, this would be cool for a
Hmm.
customer. But this
Yeah.
was one I was like, ooh, this would be really cool for me. And I can really use this. And we've been using it internally a ton on our team. And been getting a lot of good feedback from it as well. So been really enjoying that.
I've really been using it too. So
Hey.
I'm doing a little side project for myself and it is heavily custom coded, most of which came from RoboWill. I'll share more about that in a
Hey.
later episode, but
Okay. Yeah.
I
I won't
I've
poke too much. I'm
really
curious.
yeah, so the RoboWill, the code generator has been incredibly helpful.
Good.
And I think my second favorite thing is I always forget what the variables are for the different colors, and I can just pop in and grab the variable. So if I
Right.
change my color palette, it updates everything automatically. So
Yeah.
I love it.
That's such a good little CSS trick is using those color variables. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. So
Well,
that's a lot what I've been doing. Just
yeah.
custom coding stuff, a lot of custom code stuff, if you
Well,
can imagine.
who thought? Who would have thought?
Mm,
I am curious about what you is there anything you feel like you're leaving behind? I talked about the services that I retired at the end of last
mm.
year.
Um, a lot of what I'm leaving behind right now is this is gonna sound counter to what I just said, but the actual coding. I'm not writing, like typing out nearly as much code.
Mhm.
And I feel like I've been saying this for a while about like the AI and code stuff, but there was truly a step change in AI's
Mhm.
ability specifically to write code. I haven't seen it as much of a step change in other stuff, like image generation is getting better, voice is getting better, video is getting better, copywriting is getting better, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen like a step change. And there was this step change with coding in
Mhm.
November, end of November of last year, and it has just
Yeah.
taken the whole sort of coding world by storm. And just so much more of my job is writing documentation about what I want my app to do, how I want
Mhm.
it to function, and working with AI, having it write the code, and then me just review it and sort of look at
Mhm.
it, or it come up with some suggestions about how to architect it.
Mhm.
So I've given up a lot of like handwriting code and become a lot more of like a manager of the AIs and stuff,
So
which has
what do
been a
you
weird
think
shift.
and I'm thinking like obviously there are a lot of people who are doing code on Squarespace. They're writing
Yes.
code. What do you think this means for them? Do you think this is like
Hmm.
across the board, this is a sea change and we're never going to go back to hand coding?
Um, no, I don't think that we're ever gonna like hand coding is gonna fully go away. I think Squarespace to keep up is going to
Mhm.
need to add some of these AI coding capabilities. It's just going to have to
Ah.
add some of this because that's where the whole industry is going. But again, they've been reticent to jump into any of that in the past. So I am curious to see how they sort of take this transition. But even if they don't add these tools right in Squarespace, I do
Mhm.
think the era of fiddling around with code and like trying to get it right, get the syntax right and everything.
Mhm.
I think I think we're going to be over that. I think
Yeah.
that's probably going to be gone. And whether you're generating the code in Squarespace or generating it on like ChatGPT and just copying it over,
Mhm.
what or RoboWill and copying it over, whatever it
Yeah.
is, I think a lot of the handwriting code is gonna be gone. And we're gonna have a lot of really crappy code, and we're gonna have a lot of really cool stuff built. So
Yeah.
it is going to be a mess. The next year or 2, I think, is going to be a real mess with code. And I think
Yeah.
you were saying earlier, you feel like, um, people are just coming from everywhere
Mhm.
to get what you do.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like with code, like all the systems of how you used to write code, how you used to do this, is just totally gone. Like
Mhm.
everything we knew about how this worked is kind of out the window,
Yeah.
and it's time to like reset and sort of figure out how we're going to work in this new paradigm. And we'll see. We'll see how it works. I don't know. End of 2026. Maybe we'll get to there in the predictions.
Yeah, we'll see. But speaking of things that we wish Squarespace rolled out, let's look at what they've actually rolled
Yes.
out. Well, what's something that you've been noticing on Squarespace releases?
They redesigned the block menu. So if you go in to
Yes,
like add a
add a
new
block.
block,
Mhm.
it's like a totally new UI, and maybe
Yeah.
they announced it in the thing, in the forum. I'm not sure if they did. I missed it. It looks a lot cleaner.
Mhm.
It looks a lot cleaner. I
Yeah.
so this my wish for Squarespace is they would open that up to developers to build custom blocks. That has been
Ooh.
my wish for Squarespace. If you are listening, please
Yes.
add us to allow custom blocks.
Yeah.
But that the UI is different and it looks really nice. They've moved stuff
Mhm.
around. They have that search bar at the top, which is super
Mhm.
helpful. But just a little UI tweak, nothing major, just a little
Yeah.
UI tweak. What about you? What have you been seeing?
Well, they're retiring a block. So they're retiring the Amazon block, which I think is really sad for bloggers and people who
Right.
do a lot of affiliate marketing. So sad to see that go. And apparently it's not just Squarespace, it's something to do with the API on Amazon's end. They've changed things up. I know on Amazon we used to be able to grab a link that would show the image and the price and stuff. We can't do that anymore. So apparently
Mhm.
they've limited that information that's coming through, which means that Squarespace is now retiring this block. So
Yeah.
very sad about that.
Keeping up with APIs is a real difficult part of software. It's a
Yeah.
really difficult part.
Yeah. I was actually like, how long is the Instagram block gonna last? Because that one is I think I put that on almost every client site I designed.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. Like the Instagram block is way more popular than the
Yeah,
Amazon block, so surely they'll keep that up to date.
I
But
hope
the
so.
bigger question is, will Instagram keep that up to date?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
And I don't
Who
know.
knows?
That was they don't want people going off their platform, so they have
Right.
incentive to close it down. So I am curious to see how all the social media stuff plays out over time.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Another update was form styling updates. So
Yeah.
there's the add to cart and donation forms on 7-One sites now adhere to those form styles, and you see an updated UI when editing those forms, which is kind of rolled into, but also separate from the form styling, which I
Right.
have to admit, like, I'm a little confused about it because um, there's a form styling option, but you also see these under the color themes, and I don't know which
Mm,
is primary. So I was playing around with it a little bit, trying to work on a newsletter block, which apparently does not inherit the form style, but I feel like it should. I don't know.
mhm.
So I'm still learning about what's going on with these
How the colors work.
forms and updates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you figured it out, drop a comment. If you're here with
Let
us
us
live,
know.
help me out.
I feel like they did a really good job
Mhm.
with the color themes when they released 7.1,
Love the
like,
way that's
the color theme
organized.
structures, and then they
Mhm.
moved it into using all these custom properties, the custom variables we were talking
Mhm.
about, which is just brilliant, and it's just
Mhm.
a really good way to
Mhm.
organize things. And then Forms is kinda throwing it for a loop a little bit because now there's, like, all these little customizations you can do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
and I don't know which, like, who rules the roost, right? Is it inside the form block? Is it inside the color theme? I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm still figuring that out,
yeah, but this
but
is
I but
go
I'm
ahead.
happy to see these kinds of UI upgrades. I think they're much needed,
Mhm.
and, anything that's gonna make it look better and work better, I'm all for.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'm here for changes, I'm here for
Mhm.
updates, and, like, I hope Squarespace continues with it. Hope
Mhm.
Squarespace continues. Okay, so we have a Circle Live tomorrow, another
Tomorrow.
live. We're doing so
Yeah.
many lives right now. So we're doing a Circle Live with the Squarespace team, and we're going to talk about their Squarespace 2026 web design industry state of the web design industry report 2026. It's always a mouthful.
Very good.
And if you want to see that report, it is at pros.squarespace.com/. Oh, we don't have it on the show notes. I think it's just
It's just right there. It's just right there on
it's right there.
pros.squarespace.com, and
Um,
I'll, post a comment with the link to register if you
Perfect.
would like to join us live tomorrow. So there is a recorded segment, and then there's gonna be a live Q&A, and
Yeah.
my favorite part of these calls is the hangout time after. So
Oh,
come
yeah.
hang out
Hang
with
out.
us after too.
Stay after and hang out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've pre-recorded it, but then we'll be there answering questions live and chatting with everyone. So that'll be really fun. And it's an interesting report, very AI heavy this year, and a lot of really interesting data about what people are thinking and what they're feeling about
Mhm.
AI and their businesses and everything. But before we jump in, we're going to jump into our predictions here. Like, what are
Mhm.
we predicting? What is coming in 2026? What do we think is coming in 2026? But before we jump into that, Christy, this is episode 1 of season 6. We got a new sponsor. Why don't you kick us
Yes.
off with a sponsor read?
Yeah, huge thanks to our sponsor, Breely. So let me go ahead and do our ad read. If you run a service based business, you know the real grind is not the creative work, it is the constant admin, booking calls, rescheduling, chasing payments, and stitching together tools that only unlock the features you actually need once you upgrade. Breely flips that model. All features are free from day one, including things most scheduling platforms paywall, like signatures, accepting payments, and email or SMS notifications. Breely adapts to how you work, whether you offer one on one appointments, workshops, classes, or even multi day events. Clients can book and pay online anytime, and you get automation, contracts, forms, and a clean dashboard that keeps everything running smoothly. No more limited plans, no more blocked features, just a modern scheduling platform built by the team behind some of the best scheduling tools in the industry. Start for free at breely.com/useful. That is BREELY.com/useful.
Really excited for Breely. They're just a great product, and run by a really cool dude named Gavin. This is something I think is going to become even more important as we move into the barrier to entry to building software go down. Is like founder led products. Like you want the founder out there talking about it. And Gavin, who has created Breely, he's a great web builder, app builder. He's done some really cool stuff.
He's done this before, so it's
guy.
only it's somebody who has a lot of experience. I think right now we're seeing a lot of people build apps, and it's really nice to see one from somebody who's done it. And he's like, I know what works, I know what doesn't work. Let's get this done. Yeah,
you can trust it. 100%. Okay.
Well, I'm curious about your predictions for this year. You know, I know we're going to talk more about the state of the web design industry 2025 or 2026 report, all about 2025. But I'm curious what your predictions are for 2026.
We'll go back and forth, and I'll start with one of my bigger ones, I guess. I see with software development, with coding, with anything on the website, on the internet, barrier to entry is going to go way down. Like to build an app, you just said this, like the number of apps we're going to see out there is going to be astronomical, because you don't have to be this super experienced web developer to get something built. That barrier to entry is going to go way down. And at the same time, we're going to see that bar for quality go way up. And people are going to expect a certain level of quality if they're going to be paying for a web app, a website, whatever it might be. So barrier to entry going to bar for quality is going to go up. And what I think that means is that there are going to be less web designers by the end of this year. And I think there will be more full-time web designers. There will be more full-time web designers, but less people that call themselves web designers, because for people to make a living in web design, that bar for quality is going to go really high. And so I think we're going to see less.
I think that's so interesting. I kind of have a thought about web designers too, that is, you know, I'm looking at my notes here about my predictions, and it kind of goes along with what you're saying. I think that web designers are going to diversify their income outside of just web design this year. So same thing. One of the things that was in the report for last year was people offering content creation. So content creation saw a year-over-year increase. So the report says suggesting designers are increasingly looking to support clients beyond the initial build. The ability to help create and optimize content, not just design websites, will likely be a key differentiator going forward. I absolutely agree with that. You know, other things we saw in the report that I think we're going to continue to see grow outside of just web design are SEO work, tool integration, and we'll totally agree with you, app development. I feel like just like you said, the barrier to entry there is so low. It's going to be really easy to start offering apps as part of your web design. However, I will say that in my very limited experience, creating the app is not the hard part. Are we going to agree on what the hard part is?
Distribution.
I was going to say support.
Oh, support too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say support is next to distribution.
Okay.
I would say support is after distribution. I think you know, we got different things going on, but in terms of predictions, I think distribution is going to be like the number one difficulty with app design, with getting traffic to your website. Well, I guess that is distribution, with like building a successful website, shall we say. The distribution aspect is going to become even more important. Like more people are going, because there's going to be so much out there. No one's going to know what's good, what's not good. How am I going to get in front of people? There's going to be a million different things, million different products that do the same thing. And how is someone going to choose? And one little anecdote. I've had more people in the last 2 weeks show me an app they've designed, or something they've designed than I have seen in the last 2 years. Like, more people in the last
Oh,
2 weeks
wow.
have shown me something than in the last 2 years. And
That's crazy.
Christy, the thing is they're all pretty good. They're
Yeah.
all like, as I'm looking at them today
Mhm,
with today's eyes, I'm like, this
mhm.
is useful. This is really cool and useful.
So are
Armin,
you
who's go ahead.
I was gonna ask, are you seeing people vibe coding in, like, Lovable or Replit or, how
Yeah,
are they putting these things together?
I think it's mostly lovable.
Mhm,
I think that's mostly what I've been seeing people
mhm.
build stuff in. Um, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good things.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone in Replit. I'm building, if anyone's curious, I'm building most of my stuff using Cursor, which is like
Uh-huh.
a development environment. It's not like
It's,
a
like, way over my head.
GUI, like, yeah, lovable. But I don't know, maybe that's changing. There's like
Yeah.
there's a million different things. There's like Claude Code and all sorts of different things that have popped out. And
You were
so
gonna
I
call out Armin as
Armin,
well.
so he's someone who's built something really cool. It's like an ads platform for
Mhm,
Squarespace websites. It's really interesting. Um, um, who else? Dave from our group, Dave
mhm,
Hawkins. He's built a really cool web extension. I'm not going to say because I don't know if he's shared it publicly, but he's built this
mhm.
really cool Chrome extension. So be on the lookout for that. Um, did you guys do you guys use Aura Build? Aura Build. I haven't heard of this one. I haven't heard of Aura Build. Someone in the chat asked, "Do you guys use Aura Build?" And I have not used that one before. But that just goes to show,
There's
should
so
I use
many.
it? This is the point. Like the number of apps that can build apps is just ballooning. It's just
Mhm,
incredible. So I think in 2026, figuring out your distribution, and how you're going to get in front of people if you are building apps is going to be more important than building the app itself.
mhm.
That's my prediction. Is like that distribution is going to be more important than the actual building.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with that, and I think that, that's gonna be really tough, but I also think supporting those apps is gonna be a real challenge, and I think people don't
Yes.
realize how much support goes into
Hmm.
that, and Will, I know you can speak to this just from
Yes.
your membership and your plugin shop, and
Yeah.
there there's a lot of time dedicated to support.
No, we that was the first hire I made was Abby.
Yeah,
And she's fantastic. And
yeah,
luckily I lucked into like a great hire with her. But
mhm,
she handles all my support and has been doing so for the last 3 or 4 years. And there's very little I could have done without
yeah,
having someone like her because there is so much support. And that's
mhm,
again, this has always been the case with software is
mhm,
it matters way less. It matters less about the product than your ability to iterate and improve
mhm,
and get feedback from people and fix problems and improve it. Like software is not it's done. Now let's like hang out. Like anything. Like your business is never that. Your website is never
mhm,
that. But software is of course never that as well. And we're going to see a lot more of that is people building an app and thinking they're done and then not realizing sort of the ongoing maintenance and support
yeah,
involved in a lot of that, which
yeah.
is also changing because maybe you can, if it's a simple enough app, maybe you can just get AI to sort of handle
There
all that.
you go.
So it's hard to make predictions because things are, like I said, things are changing so rapidly right
Mhm,
now. Um,
yeah.
but what else? Give me another one of your predictions for 2026.
Yeah, I think that, in terms of web designers, I think a lot of us are looking to diversify the platforms we work on. So,
Mhm.
Squarespace designers, I've seen, obviously there was kind of hand in hand with Shopify,
Mhm.
Show It, or some of the bigger names that we've seen people work on before. I'm hearing more and more people checking out Webflow and Framer and
Mm.
Ghost and other platforms as well. I tried to build a website on Ghost and I did not enjoy that experience. So,
Yeah.
I'm back to Squarespace for that project. But I've played around some with Framer and Webflow. They're they're great. They do different things. I think for my business model and the kind of clients I work with, Squarespace still makes the most sense. But
Mhm.
as people are kind of branching out, trying different things, working with different audiences, I think that we're going to see a lot of people working on multiple platforms.
Yeah, I think I think I would agree with that. I think
Mhm.
we're gonna see more people at the end of 2026 on
Mhm.
multiple platforms, and learning these others are good. Um,
Yeah.
I this is listen, this is we talk a lot about Squarespace. A lot of my
Mhm.
business relies on Squarespace,
Mhm.
and um, I could people could easily accuse me of being a Squarespace shill, which I'm really not. I have a lot of problems with the platform, but I do love it in a lot of ways. I have problems with it because I use it so much and I see all the problems. Uh,
After dabbling in those other platforms that I mentioned, I have to
mhm.
say, like, the grass is not greener. So
It's
it's
it's not when you go to those other things, and I also wanna say, like, those other platforms I think are in a lot more trouble in the AI coding world than
Mhm.
Squarespace, because platforms like Webflow, platforms like Framer, they've
Mhm.
all tried to build an interface that allows you to
Yeah.
have all the flexibility that code gives you, but
Mhm.
in a very complicated UI that's
Yeah.
still really difficult to learn.
Mhm.
Squarespace hasn't gone that direction, and now that you can just ask AI to write something and handle all that complexity for you, I think
Mhm.
that's a way easier way for someone to
Yeah.
get the customization they want than using sort of the tools of Framer of Webflow. And so I think Squarespace sort of focused in their niche of have this amazing website builder that's
Mhm.
really easy to hand off to clients. I
Mhm.
think that's still a very with constraints, like
Yeah.
don't go overboard, Squarespace. Don't like
Yeah.
too complicated for people to use,
Yeah.
but with constraints, I feel like
Mhm.
that's still there's a huge market for that still,
Yeah.
and that web builder is I think the thing that's gonna be the anchor for Squarespace even
Mhm.
more than it already has in this AI age.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I feel like that's the main differentiator, at least for the type of clients that I wanna work with, that ability to hand off, you just don't see in the other
Right.
platforms.
No,
Um,
the handoff ability
handoff ability.
of Squarespace,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
harder with the other ones. What
Yeah.
would you say is your if you were to play around with another platform, if you were to recommend
Mhm.
someone like, "Learn this one as a second
Mhm.
one in 2026," what would you recommend?
Ooh, that's really interesting. If you like e-commerce, which I don't, I would say Shopify.
Yeah, fair.
And if e-commerce is not your jam and you want to, create websites that you update for your clients, really like Framer.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, if
Yeah.
the client's not gonna be
Mhm.
getting in there and
Yeah.
fiddling,
Yeah.
they're fiddling.
Fiddling. Yeah.
Um,
One more prediction for this
okay.
year. I think we're gonna see more in-person events. I know you and I
Mm,
we've already seen each other this year, Will.
we have a
I was
few
in New
times
York
already, it's been
and
great.
yeah. So and this is something that I'm intentionally doing this year, setting up meetings with other designers and creating space for in-person events.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be going to the KIT conference, this summer in Boise, and I don't even use Kit. I just really like their conference.
It's great. It's a great conference.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be going too. If anyone else
yeah,
is, in the area of Boise.
yeah. And
Um,
I'm going to, in March, go to Sponsor Games in San Antonio, which is an event put on by Justin Moore. And my friend Sarah Loretta is doing the
mm,
production for that event. So it's going to be amazing. Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking to look at my calendar and see where can I create space for in-person events
mm,
because I feel like the more AI there is and I'm using, the more I want real humans to be
yep.
around.
Honestly, I feel that too.
Mhm,
And I do this is just a very optimistic, maybe overly optimistic theory I'm bouncing around in my head. So
mhm,
this is not a prediction, don't hold me to this. But I do wonder if all this AI stuff, now that like a computer can do everything,
mhm,
and the global reach of the internet isn't as important because it doesn't
mhm,
have to be a human doing that global reach. I
mhm.
do wonder if AI is going to make us like more connected to our communities because it's just going to through way of force, through way of just
Mhm.
like making us like connect with people and not computers. I do wonder if that's going to be an outcome.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure if I'd make that prediction though. Seeing how things have progressed over the last 20 years with social
Yeah.
media, I'm not sure. Um, But anyways, I got one last prediction.
Mhm.
Micro influencers are going to become even more valuable.
Does
So
this go back to what you were saying about distribution?
this goes back to what I was saying about
Mhm,
distribution.
mhm,
And I think if you have found your little niche of um,
mhm,
of the community you want to be in, whether that's Squarespace, whether that's like an email platform, whether that's something local,
mhm,
um, being a micro influencer in that, like if you've built an app, you're going to want someone to distribute it, and you're going to want
mhm,
people in that community to distribute it. And so I think the value of that, like your value, Christy, you got a great
mhm.
YouTube channel. Like that is going to become even more valuable because you're talking to a targeted niche. And
Yeah.
if anyone else, I'm just going to do a little promo for you. You have a YouTube Growth Lab,
Oh,
which is like
yeah.
a group. You started that this year, YouTube Growth Lab. You didn't mention that.
I
Um,
didn't. Yeah, so it's new. It's a membership, and the reason behind YouTube Growth Lab is that if you've been following my journey, you'll know that I've been doing Squarespace videos at least weekly for the last almost couple of years now.
mhm.
And last year in April, my channel got monetized. And I thought that was really cool because this is something that I wanted to do anyway. I love creating these educational videos now. It took a while to actually love doing it, but now I do it and I can't imagine not doing it. So I was curious to see if I started another channel on a different topic, knowing what I know,
Mhm.
could I also get that monetized and how long would it take? So I decided I wanted to do this experiment, but I didn't want to do it alone because the reason that it took me so long to really get my current YouTube channel off the ground is that it's real easy to go, oh, that just feels too hard and not do
Yeah.
it. So I knew that I needed a community and accountability. So I started YouTube Growth Lab for anybody who's interested in starting or growing their own YouTube channel. And it's a really lovely mix of folks in there. So there are some Squarespace web designers. There are a lot of people who don't do web design and don't do
Mhm.
Squarespace. And people are at different parts of their journey. Some people are like, I'm trying to figure out if this is something I want to do, or I'm definitely starting a YouTube channel, or I have a YouTube channel and I just need this community for accountability. So it's been
Mhm.
a lot of fun. We just had our first expert call with Becca Harpain of Inside the Square, who has done an amazing job with her
Yes,
YouTube
she's, like,
channel.
the best in YouTube in her space for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, which was fantastic. So I'm loving this community, and there are weekly prompts to help you focus on your channel, little steps to just move the needle and stay consistent. And
Mhm.
yeah,
I love
uh,
it. No,
yeah,
it's such a fun group. You just like it's not
thanks.
like work. It's not like, "Okay, do all this work." It's just like some little things to keep you going, little
Mhm.
prompts to keep you involved, to think about, and it's also great, just to see what other people are thinking. I think it's a huge
Yes.
value in that, and just seeing how other people are approaching, the prompts or creating their YouTube thumbnails, which is, like, one of the most daunting parts of a YouTube channel. Uh
Yeah, right now we're talking about what are you using to record? And so we've got people using tons of different softwares, people asking questions about like, "Oh, hey, I looked at that. Tell me more
Mhm.
about it." So it's really fun.
I love it. Okay, well, we're going to go on one more quick break, and
Yes.
then we're going to do our lightning round questions with just the two of us. And we have actually
What?
6 of them because Sarah Graham, one of our wonderful listeners, mentioned we always ask these lightning round questions to
Mhm.
everyone else, to our guests, but we never answer them ourselves. So we're going to start with last season's lightning round, and then we'll do this season's.
Great.
So
Uh, well, let's talk about Breely some more.
learn about Breely. If you run a service based business, you already know the real work is not just the creative or the client delivery. It's the messy admin between the scenes, booking calls, rescheduling, chasing payments, and stitching together tools that were never built to work the way that you work. Breely fixes that. It's a modern scheduling platform built by a team that has spent decades designing the best tools in the industry. Breely adapts to your business, whether you offer one on one sessions, workshops, multi day events, or anything in between. Clients can book with you and pay online anytime, and you get automated reminders, contracts, forms, and a full dashboard that keeps everything organized. Yeah, all of that stuff. All that stuff is right there included. No more duct taped workflows. No more reinventing how you schedule. head to breely.com/useful. That's BREELY.com/useful.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, again, huge thanks to Breely for sponsoring us this season. Let's do the lightning round questions. I kind of feel like we did these 3 on our bonus episode for Circle Day.
Oh, we might have.
Did we?
I don't remember.
Let's do them again.
Well,
Maybe our
we can
answers
certainly-
changed.
They may have changed. They may have changed. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So
Well,
do you have any
yeah.
pets? Do they come to work with you?
I do. I have 2 dogs, Percy and Bela. Percy's a black
Please.
lab. Bela's a chocolate lab. One is nice and one is naughty. I'll let you figure out which is which. But yeah, they're like in and out all day with me.
Yep.
How about you?
Same here. Got a little Vivi, not a black lab, but like a tiny little white fluffy thing that's about 6 pounds. But she is absolutely my work buddy. She just like hangs out all day.
My favorite photo of you is with her with the little doggy carrier with her little her little face.
If you sign up for our webinar, you'll see it. My headshot of that. Vivi is part of the headshot in there. Okay, Christy,
Well,
what are the top 3 tools in your tech stack?
The top 3 tools in my tech stack are obviously Squarespace. I'm in there every day, all day. I will say that Canva is really coming along. I actually ditched my Adobe subscription last year, so I'm doing more in Canva, and they just bought Affinity, so Canva. And I think my 3rd top tool in my tech stack is probably Google Docs, because I keep everything in there and it keeps me organized. And I've tried other things, but I love just a good checklist in a Google Doc.
Those are wonderful. Those are really good ones.
How about you?
Mine have shifted dramatically. It is Claude. Claude. It is Cursor, which is where I use Claude to write the code. And then it is Next.js, which is really Vercel. Vercel is the company, and Vercel is the hosting platform for all of these custom apps I'm building. So those 3, that's kind of like Claude is the AI model I use. And then I use Cursor as the, Claude is the AI model I ask. Cursor is where all the code gets written and tested. And then Vercel is where it gets hosted once we're ready to deploy it. So those 3 is just like, I've been using that nonstop.
Nonstop. I'm like Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last one. What's the best advice you've ever received?
This is such a hard one because it's like so absolute. What's the best advice you've ever received? I can't believe
what's some good advice you got once, Will?
Yeah. What's kind of resonating with me right now is just the idea of the progression of a business, where it's like what works for you in one stage doesn't work for you in another. And the first stage of any business your entrepreneurial journey is like the muscle and feel stage, where you just like the goal is just to get out there and make a sale and make it happen however you need to make it happen. Don't overthink. And then the next stage is systems and processes. Once you've made enough sales, start build your systems and processes. A lot of the stuff that you do is just like teaching people how to get their web design systems and processes down. And that's just where I am right now, is just sort of figuring out that next stage. And so I don't know if it's like advice, but more of just like a way of thinking that I'm constantly thinking of, is like, how does my mind need to shift in this next phase of my business? But what about you? What's the best advice? What is the best advice you have ever received?
Yeah. And I feel like I answer this from time to time. I'm going to switch it up and just say some good advice that's been top of mind for me lately. This is from my friend Risha Chesterfield, who runs So Good Creative, So Good websites. And we were talking, and she said something to me that I've really been thinking a lot about, and it was protect your yes. So I need to be able to say no to things to protect my yes, because sometimes I say yes to too much. I do things because I'm trying to be nice, and it ends up, taking up way more time than I expect. Like a tiny thing for a client that I'll just do this for free turns into like a week's worth of work, right? So what I've been doing is lately I've been protecting my yes and saying no to more things. So feeling pretty good about that.
I love that. That's so brilliant. So that's so good. That's so good.
Thanks,
Risha's
Risha.
company is so good, but
Uh-huh.
SOW.
SOW.
Yeah, it's a wonderful. I love the
Yes.
what is it's not alliteration. What is that?
Ooh, there's a word for
There's
that.
a word for it. Or
I
it's
don't know.
it means homophone. I don't know. Okay, now we're moving on to the next ones. What's
Okay.
your favorite app on your phone?
Right now it's school because I'm in my YouTube growth lab every day and their iPhone app is
They have an app for
amazing. So
that.
I actually am on the app more than I'm on my computer with it, which is really
Really?
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is nice.
How about you?
Mine
Favorite app
mine
on your phone?
I mean, it's just gotta be ChatGPT. I use it for just all sorts of things. I was replacing a sink earlier this year, and I just was
Ooh.
taking pictures of like all the different parts and be like, how should I organize this? How do I like add in a garbage disposal? What type of
Mhm.
nut do I need for this? Take pictures of like all the ingredients I have in my fridge, and I'm like, what's a good
Yes.
meal I can make out of this? Like it's just I hate saying it's like my favorite. It's not like my favorite, but it's like
It's
for
super
sure the
useful.
most used
Yeah.
and the most useful.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the one that has to win right now,
Love
unfortunately.
that. Yeah, and you're a
Um,
plumber now, apparently.
and I'm a plumber now. Again, barrier to entry going down, bar for quality going up. Just super
How's
clear.
that sink doing? Yeah.
Super clear, right. What's one boundary you wish you set sooner?
Oh, this is one that a change that I made last year, where I am only booking discovery calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that feels
Mm,
really nice. And I'm trying to do most of my calls on Tuesdays, Thursdays now. So I feel
mm,
like otherwise it just kind of interrupts the flow of my day. And so
mhm.
having those, unless they're part of a build for a client, all
Yeah,
those calls happen Tuesday, Thursday. So feels really
good.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
organizing your call days. Yeah, I've heard that from
Yeah.
so many people. That's just, like, super important.
Yeah.
Um,
How about you?
Mine is sleeping with my phone not in my bedroom.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
something Ren and I started doing last year, and it's just been wonderful. It truly is a really nice break from your phone, those 8 hours when you're asleep. Uh, it is nice not to wake up and have your phone, like, right there. I would always just, like, roll over and just, like, stay in bed scrolling at all the horrible
Yeah.
things that's been going on, and it's just nice not to have that. There's no need don't need to be that up to date with things. Like,
Yeah.
trying to find ways where I can be off is, like, more important than ever for me.
I
Um,
love that. More
mm,
offline time intentionally.
More offline. I'm terrible at it. I'm honestly terrible at it. It's
I think
just
we
like,
all are.
ugh, it's been difficult. Um, Anyways, okay, what is your favorite non-work book?
Oh, I have a bunch. I love to read. And so if you ask me this question, I'll answer it differently every time you ask.
Mhm.
But I think today I was thinking about, I was so worried I was going to get the flu when I came to New York. I
Mhm.
realize this has nothing to do with anything, but I'll bring it back around, I promise.
Go for it.
And whenever I get sick and I have like multiple days that I'm like stuck in bed with a fever, I have the
Mhm.
same book that I go back and read. So while I was in New York, I'm like, am I going to get the flu? Thank goodness I did not. But just going around like crazy there. I was like,
Yeah.
well, the silver lining is that I will get to reread this book. And it's a fiction book. It spans multiple timelines. It has a lot to do with chess. It's so fun. It's called The Eight by Catherine Neville.
The
And
8.
anytime that I'm like under the weather for multiple days, I reread this book because it really keeps my attention and it's pretty long. So,
Is it like the 8 as in like the 8 pieces on a chessboard? Is that kind of the deal?
well, on the cover, it's
I
like the
can't
eight
do
is
it.
like the infinity symbol, which kind of plays into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But there are lots of hidden layers of meaning. So it could be to do with chess too.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? Did you say it was about chess, or did I make that up? Did I just throw that
It
in
is
there?
also about
Okay.
chess. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is part of
It
it.
has many layers.
I love it. Like an onion.
Like an
Like an
onion.
onion. That's wonderful.
All right, what's your
Um,
favorite non-work book?
Mine is, there's an argument this could be made for a workbook, but it is a biography of Rockefeller. that
That's
I'm reading
totally a
right now.
workbook, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'm just like, honestly, I read boring stuff like that. It's interesting to me.
That's why you're
Um,
interesting, Will, because you read cool stuff like that.
it is well, yeah, it is. I feel like I'm persistently in this like state of mind of like learn and do stuff, and that's what. Yeah,
And I'm like, escape reality.
I know. I need to escape. I need to escape reality a little bit.
Okay, so tell me about
But it's really
Rockefeller.
good. It's a really good. It's a very long book, but it's just like
Mhm.
going through his life, becoming like an oil titan. And you know, I'm not going to bore y'all with the details, but if you like history books, especially about like business and that time period and everything, it's fascinating. It's a really good book. He
I
did
don't-
some wild stuff.
That's pretty cool. I don't know
Yeah.
that that's up my alley, but I bet a lot of people listening would love it.
You know, maybe not.
And I don't see you reading
I
the 8
enjoy it.
anytime soon, but
I enjoy it. Yeah. Okay, and we got one question in the chat that I'm just gonna throw up here.
yeah.
I've noticed small Squarespace tasks pile up faster than full builds. Curious how you've seen agencies manage that at scale. So I think the question is like, how do you manage the small tasks relative to like the bigger things that need to happen?
Yeah.
How would you answer that, Christy?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't run an agency, so I can't answer it from an agency perspective, but from a solopreneur perspective, I actually save up those tasks and just kind of knock them out all at once across clients.
Mm,
So when somebody reaches out with something small, it's like, great, I have, next Tuesday is penciled in to do this. And so I'll just pencil everything in for that same day, create a block of time, and knock it all out at once. But I
smart.
do think that one of the things that I see and that I am sometimes guilty of, but I definitely see other designers doing this too, is you're not compensated for your time with those small
Yes.
tasks. And I've really tried over the years to train my clients that, if you need me to go in and update something for you, there is a charge associated with it. Now, it's not a full hour, obviously, it's a small task, but it does take time for me to read your email, to ask you questions about it, to get your assets, to optimize your assets, to add those to the Squarespace site, to update the site, to check it, send it to you, let you check it, see if there are any revisions that make any changes you want, and then send you the invoice.
Yeah.
So a small task, even though it might just take 5 minutes to implement, when you look at all the admin around it, it's like half an hour.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that, as designers, we are recognizing that our time is valuable and that we do need to charge for that, because this person could also do that in 5 minutes and they're choosing not to. They're choosing to have you do it for them. And that comes at a cost.
Yep.
So make sure
Totally.
that you're valuing your time.
Yeah. There needs to be some level of friction
Mm-hmm.
for them to just like ask something of you.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to do that is to charge. I agree. Do you still do like monthly retainers and stuff with clients?
I don't. I did that for a while. I did that because I was coming from WordPress years ago when I moved to Squarespace, and it was necessary for
Yeah.
WordPress. With Squarespace, for me, it's not necessary, and I actually did not enjoy tracking all of that.
Mhm.
So for me, it really is in lieu of a retainer, just like when you need something, let me know. I'll tell you how much it will cost.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of it then.
I
And so
think
it's
that's a
less
much
expensive
better
for my
way.
clients. It's easier for me to manage just the admin part of it. But
Totally.
I know lots of folks do retainer models and it works for them. It just is not great for me.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
honestly, it is interesting how ubiquitous a website is, there is
Mhm.
no standardization about how to run a website business. Like
Nope.
none at all.
It's the Wild West out
It is
here,
the
folks.
total Wild West. It really is. It's kind of crazy. So interesting.
It was a great question. Thanks for
yeah.
asking.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us. You can find us on Instagram or on our websites, wherever you want. That's it for today.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. We hope you found this at least somewhat useful. We're going to be back in 2 weeks with a guest, Jack Fish, who is an amazing author, copywriter, writing coach. Hope you join us for that.
And be sure to subscribe to our podcast. And if you really like us, leave us a nice little 5-star review, as this really helps us grow the pod. Thanks again to our sponsor, Breely, and thanks to our audio engineer, Ricky Gutton. We will see you all next time.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.